So what I'm going to do tonight is to show the various ways I've got of sharpening my tools. I've got a variety of tools here, and I put a selection out, and I'll go through the process of sharpening. I'll go through them quite quickly because I don't want to do any editing or anything like that with a bit of luck. So we'll make a start with these tools here. I just go down to them, and there they are. There's a variety there, and let's have a look. Right, so I've got tin snips, quite a strong one. I've got a shears, scissors, what do you call it, for pruning, my knife, my little knife. I got another little knife there, and I've got a larger knife there. So we'll begin from this end. Begin with the shears. Now then, how do you tin snips? How do you sharpen the tin snips? Well, let's just go down to the vise, because what I want to do is show you how I sharpen the tin snips. Now then, here's well, more like a tin snips. It's more than a tin snips, quite a hunky tool. So these I've got. They are all quite sharp, so I'll just go through it quite quickly. These have got an edge which act almost like a guillotine. They're not sharp. There's just about a 10-degree edge. So instead of being, I've got a rule here. Instead of being at right angles there's just a 10 degrees edge on there. On the other, the same here, and they act like a guillotine, but very effective for cutting all sorts of sharp metal. And I can put them in the vise. When I put these in the vise, I only just catch the back end of the cutting edge, because I don't want to damage it, you see, because it's got quite a complicated profile, and I don't want to sort of damage that. So that's quite good. Now then, what I use there is a sharpening stone. Here's a sharpening stone. It's 100 mil by 13 mil. So that's roughly 4 inches by half an inch. So that's it. I'm pretty certain that's it. So there we are. So instead of being like that, there's a slight down that way. So about 10 degrees. And if I put my finger there, I can feel it. And the way to do that is you sharpen it like you're sharpening with a file. You do it like that. Now then, once you decide on your angle, I'm going to put my glasses on because I can't see what I'm doing. Once you decide on your angle, 10 degrees, you stick to it. And I can see by that flatness there that is the right angle, because when I go along it starts to brighten up all the way along, which goes to show that I'm on the right track. So what you do is you start there, and you use as much of the stone as you can, just from there, and you end up right there. So you just go like that about 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, or as long as is necessary. Once you see the edge brightening up and becoming to a flat, and it looks good, then that's sufficient. So we call it 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, after telling you to use all the edge, I wasn't doing it myself, so we do it this way as well. Now, and I just put that in there just enough to catch it, so we don't damage the shears. And then back to there to a 10 degree. Use all the stone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Doesn't have to be 20, it could be 40. You sharpen it until it is sharp, until you see that the edge there is quite nice, and that's right. There's no dents or anything on the edge. So once you've done that, what you must do then, quite important, is you must take the thing like that, and then what you've got to do then is, when you've been doing that, you've introduced a burr, you've rolled some metal over onto the cutting face. And if you were to shut that now, what would happen is you would actually cut the burr off, and then cutting them off, then you're blunting in the tool you've just sharpened. So therefore you must just go like that, hold it like that, and then put that on flat on the cutting edge, flat on the face, cutting face, and then go along it like that, about as long as what is required to take away the burr. If you've been sharpening for a long time to get rid of some damage, then you'd have to do it more often than not, but we haven't done much, so we do it just 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is important is that you don't wobble like that, because otherwise you damage the edge in itself. So you keep it, when you've got it flat like that, you keep it at that angle right up to the edge, to the end of the cutting of the blade. And then with this one you can do that the same, and then you get it like that, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just because we haven't done much sharpening there, you probably do it 10 times to get rid of any burr that's there. So when you shut it, you don't hear a rasping sound. If you haven't done that, you hear a rasping sound, and what it is doing is the shearing edges are cutting the burr off, and then cutting the burr off, you're blunting in the blade. So therefore you negating all the good work you've done. But you don't hear that because it's nice and correct. Now then, we do this one next. This is an old heavy scissors that I've got, and much the same. Let's go through it quite quickly. There we are. Just tighten that up. 10 degrees or thereabouts, suit yourself. Look at the old edge, and that will tell you how it is. There's 90 degrees. It's horizontal with the ground, if you like, or level, but you just don't take it back about 10 degrees, and then you start to sharpen it. I just tighten that a little bit more. I don't like over tightening it on the thing. You might damage the tool, but the scissors. But there we are, and once you've got 10 degrees, I can see it's starting to shine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If you do them quite often, then you don't have to do them, don't have to quite make such a big job of it, because a little and often is better than letting the cutting edges go very worn, and then you've got to go to a lot of work. So we do about 20 here. 1, I don't like tightening them too much, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 degrees, 7, or what you feel happy with. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And if you're doing this, you tend to, after a while, get a bit slack, and you just sort of, you're not using all the stone, but you want to go there, there. Keep your mind in it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's it. Now then, we just undo that. Put it as I showed you before, like that. Put it flat on there. Come up there about 5 or 6 times or more if the burr is strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No burr. No. Let's have a look at the burr on here. Yeah, there's a bit of a burr on there. So we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's okay. So now when we shut it, we won't get that rasping sound. Nice. And those will keep well. Now then, this is a shears. It is actually a shears for shearing sheep. And if I just take that off, and I'll explain it to you. But it's something I found many years ago, decades, and I've done it up because is for shearing sheep. Years ago, before there was electric shears, these would have been used manually to shear sheep with, and you know, actually I'm using it backwards, but that's how it would be cut, and that's it. And there was no, it was all done by hand, so it's hand powered. And after you've been cutting all day shearing sheep, you've certainly got good muscles, and your hands was very strong. And these are very good because they're very versatile. I've cut rubber with them. I've cut loads of stuff that these would struggle with, and these cut very well. And I'm very pleased with them. I'm glad I've got them, and I use them quite a bit. Now then, how do you sharpen those? If you have a look, if I do that, they come off. You can see how they've opened out, and they should be like that. And if you leave them alone, that's how they will stop there, but only just, because in the past these have been strained. You see, all the spring is in this piece here, and that spring's open. But what has happened that someday, inevitably, it always happens, has opened them too far in order to sharpen them, and then they haven't come back very well. They will sit like that, and there's no problem, you know. But that does happen. But I've got a piece of rubber there that I can use, and I'll show you how to sharpen these. Well, if we just go on to there's the cutting edge, and there's the cutting edge on that one. So if we open them out now, like that, and if we put them in the vise, like that, and I'll just take you over to it now. If I just take you over to there, we put in the vise like that, and what has happened, that is there when it's cut in, and that is opened. Now then, what has happened, I can tighten that quite good, because that has been forge welded to the blades. These are separate to the spring, and it's been forge welded, so you can tighten that quite severely without damaging it. Now I'll go and get a little piece of wood, because I want to show you how to do it. And as usual, I can't find anything when you go and look for it, but I've found this, and hopefully this, yes, it will just about do it. If we put it on there like that and take that up like that, we open the spring a little bit more. You do that as up to a bare minimum, because you just want enough to get this past there, and that just about goes to the edge of that blade when it touches the other blade, so we're okay. So we can do 10 on this up here, or 20 if you like, and it's exactly the same process. 10 degrees or thereabouts to suit yourself, could be 5 degrees up that to marry in with the shine that is existing there in the front. And as I say, you go from there to there, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's okay. Take that out now. That's that one done. Want to do this side now. So in order to do that, what we got to do now is just turn that over like that. And then that goes in there like that. Very handy shears if anybody might want to use them for something. I use them for all sorts of things. They're very good. And I just strain it only just enough so that I can get that, my sharpening stone in there, and that's where it's touching when I'm touching the end of that there. So I can't go any more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And there we are. Now then, I take that out. We haven't done much damage because I've only just done it as a bare minimum. So that's still, I haven't strained it, but it is a little bit tender because it is close to opening. Now then, we've got to remove the burr, as they say. So what we can do is put that flat on there, right? Put that flat on there, put that on there, and that gives us our datum point. The burr is along here now. If we were to shut them now, you'd hear a bit of a rattling sound as it was cutting the burr off, and they wouldn't cut so good. But if you rub them off, once you get that angle, keep to it and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because it doesn't throw in quite a big burr. And then on this one, do the same. Just put it on the, I think, a flat place. Get it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Careful not to when you come to the end to rock it in like that, because then you will find that it won't cut so well, because you open the blade up. And that's it. So now then we got that like that. That's it. No sound when you shut it now, no rasping sound of it cutting the burr. In order to get rid of that problem these days, you can, if you get a motorbike tube, a motorbike tire or something similar, and you cut a piece of it to suit yourself, put it over there, and then that goes over there, and now that stops that from happening. So you haven't got the problem of pushing the shears together again. That's it. Here, this is, I found it, and it was already in its case, and it was like that, quite nondescript, and you can't get it out when it's on. It won't come out. But if you close it, it comes out immediately. And that's the case that was originally, somebody's cut it off on the belt of the shearer. And what it was handy was that it would stick in there until he was ready. Just close it together and out it'd come. Put it back in and it won't go. And that's quite a unique little thing. There must have been a little spigot on there to secure it in, but it stops in very well on its own. So that's the shears. Let's put that by. Now then, let's go have a look what else we got here. Yeah. Now this, well, you're quite familiar with these, I'm sure. I just make sure that you're in the picture. And this is, I hope you are. And this is my little, well, it's my wife's. Use it for pruning, and quite difficult to sharpen in a way, but you can get them quite sharp indeed. That is sharp. It's been sharpened not so long ago. You can see it shining. It wants cleaning up, but other than that, and the way I do it is I just I put it on there like that, right, and then you just do about 10 of that. You can't get in very easily, so you can do it, but it's a little bit awkward. And you go 1, let's put it on the bench, 1, 2, like that, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and actually you can turn it over and do, and then you can do the other side like that. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just have a look. That's alright, could do it a bit more. So we just put it there like that. Put the tube down, you got it nice and secure then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You might want to do more. And then you can just organize it to suit yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little bit awkward to do, but well worth it, because you get a nice sharp edge on there. No need to finish with the burr there, because you sharpen both sides, and that's it. And then I put a bit of degreasing oil in, WD-40. I'll clean that off for everybody. I'll do that.